Many believe demons are unstoppable forces, entities capable of manipulating everything and everyone. But that perception is far from the truth. There are cosmic rules, vibrational laws that not even the darkest beings can break. And when a chosen one understands these limitations, something within them awakens. For those who have deeply studied spirituality and interdimensional conspiracies, the idea that this world is influenced by hidden dark forces is no surprise. Invisible demonic governments, non-human technologies, and shadow beings operating behind the scenes. Yes, they exist and they're active. But here comes the first twist. Despite all of that, there are things they simply cannot do, no matter how much they want to. And this is where the chosen ones come in. If you're one of those beings who felt since childhood that you're here on a greater mission, you need to know these 3 limitations reveal just how protected and sacred your power truly is. In this video, we'll go through the 3 things demons cannot do against a chosen one. I'll reveal them in order of importance, with the final limitation being the one that alone can change everything in your life. Chosen one. And I'll also share an extra piece of advice at the end that could seal your spiritual protection forever. If you've ever felt like you were born with a force and energy that makes you a target, comment now. They have strength, but I have power. First limitation. They cannot read your thoughts or probe your heart. Demons, and all shadow beings that operate behind the scenes of reality, can observe your actions, manipulate your surroundings, and in rare cases, even trigger physical manifestations, depending on the level of knowledge the being holds. But there is one realm they will never have direct access to: the sacred space of your mind and heart. As a chosen one, none of them can invade that silent core where your divine essence resides. Even the oldest and most experienced negative entities, those who govern and lead in dense dimensions and wield abilities beyond human logic, do not have universal permission to cross certain thresholds. They can study behavior, influence vibrational patterns in your external field, but the spark of your being, that which vibrates in unison with the all, remains inaccessible to them. This limitation exists because consciousness is not just a biological mechanism. It is a living field of original information, unique in frequency and structure. You are, by design, an unrepeatable energetic signature, especially as a chosen one. And that vibrational code can only be accessed by those resonating with true love and light. Demons do not vibrate in that range. Therefore, they have neither permission nor technology to breach this boundary. Think of your mind as a fortified vault, not made of metal, but of light. And your heart? A sacred portal sealed by a higher intelligence, storing not only emotions, but pure intentions that shape destinies. That is where your power to co-create reality resides. And that space is untouchable by any shadow. This is why most of their attacks come through doubt, fear, and suggestion, not by reading your thoughts directly, but through subtle inductions in your emotional and energetic surroundings. They test reactions, plant ideas in the collective field, and watch how you respond. But guess what? They only have access to what you express or feed externally. What remains hidden within you, what you nurture in silence and in elevated awareness, is your fortress. And the more you care for that inner space, the more untouchable you become. Demons rely on open doors. They cannot invade what is sealed in light. They operate like spiritual thieves, lurking in the dark, but only entering where cracks exist. Your silence is your fortress, chosen one. No shadow being can cross the field where your essence dwells. Second limitation. they cannot violate your free will. No matter how skilled demons and dark entities are at manipulating energy and vibration, there is one boundary they can never cross: the free will of a conscious being. They can surround, deceive, and influence, but they can never force a chosen one. None of them has the power to insert thoughts or actions directly into you without your permission, even if that permission is unconscious or subtle. And they know this. That's why they specialize in distortion of perception. They create scenarios of fear, confusion, or despair to make you believe there's no way out, hoping you'll choose a path that feeds the chaos. In this, they are masters. But notice, they don't push. They only point, suggest, seduce. The final decision, the gesture that manifests reality, always comes from you. Many religious traditions refer to this as sin. But here we go beyond belief systems. It's a matter of vibrational misalignment with the all. When a chosen one accepts thoughts or actions that disrupt harmony with life, they give consent, even if unknowingly, to the influence of darkness. Energetically, it's like attracting antimatter into your subtle bodies. You weren't forced. You were tricked into choosing. This is the beauty and the weight of free will. You are the final authority over every decision that shapes your destiny. No shadow, no matter how powerful, can override this cosmic law. It's as if the all placed an inviolable seal at the center of your soul, declaring, only this being may choose their path. So, chosen one, when you say no to a dark suggestion, even in silence, you activate higher forces that immediately reinforce your vibration. Every conscious choice is a declaration of war against darkness. And the more you practice this presence, the more impenetrable your light becomes to demons. These entities may use networks, systems, culture, trauma, but none of it works if you remain firm. That's why resistance is a divine weapon. And when you choose light, even in the midst of chaos, you're saying, I am a chosen one, and I own myself. No system of domination survives a being who is awakened, whole, and aware. If you've ever felt invisible pressure to act against your essence, but chose the light anyway, comment, my choice is sacred. Third limitation, they cannot stop your enlightenment or union with the all. There is one truth that, on its own, would be enough to collapse the entire dark architecture these shadow beings try to maintain on this planet. They cannot stop your spiritual ascension. No demon, no matter how ancient, strategic, or subtle, has the power to block the inner decision of a chosen one to reunite with the all. Even among themselves, there are negative beings who, after intense suffering, choose to do what is right. And this is the limitation that weakens them most. They may try to distract you, build detours, place illusions along your path, but they can never stop your awakening. Because enlightenment is not an external event, it's an internal ignition. It begins the moment you courageously choose to remember who you are. That's when everything changes, and ironically, it is often their own attacks that trigger this process. How many chosen ones began their spiritual journey after deep pain, injustice, or silent persecution? Those moments that seemed like defeat were in truth the breaking point of illusion. Because suffering, when embraced with awareness, becomes a gateway to wisdom. And every attempt by darkness, once overcome, lifts you higher. In fact, by trying to stop you, they end up strengthening you. This is the paradox of light. Every shadow only reveals the presence of the sun more clearly. The more they try to interfere, the more evident your purpose becomes. And when a chosen one decides to keep going, despite everything, they become untouchable. Their vibration surpasses the range where those entities can operate. That's because true enlightenment alters your frequency. Your field is reconfigured. You don't just think differently. You vibrate differently. And demons, who dwell in dense and heavy frequencies, simply can't approach someone who sustains constant light. They lose access, they disconnect, and they vanish. Because where a chosen one's light shines steadily, shadow finds no home. A perfect analogy for how this works in practice is the radio. When you tune a device to a certain frequency, you hear a specific station. But as you raise the frequency, the signal weakens until it disappears completely. Some spiritual schools call this reaching the light body. Others say, becoming one with the all. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that from this point on, no external force can stop you from growing. It's as if you crossed an invisible veil, and from the other side, they no longer know where to find you. That's the moment when fear dissolves. You realize your light requires no one's permission, that your connection to the all is your birthright, and that nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop the expansion of a being who has chosen to evolve. This is the limitation that terrifies them the most and sets you, chosen one, completely free. The extra piece of advice: staying in elevated states of love, gratitude, and coherence is the invisible key that seals your energetic field against any demonic influence. Even if dozens of them gather with the intent to attack, a being in full light instantly repels them. The energy you sustain in your vibration is like fire to them, and they know it. Just as the human body cannot withstand exposure to radioactive elements because they emit a level of energy we're not built to handle, the high frequency of a chosen one radiates energy that literally begins to dissolve the antimatter accumulated by these entities. That's why they flee. If someone tries to reach you through low-frequency rituals, spells, or curses, those forces can only find entry if you're vibrating on compatible levels. Anger, resentment, hatred, fear, guilt, all of these dense emotions are energetic cracks. That's why your frequency is your armor. Those who vibrate high in love and gratitude become invisible to the radar of darkness. Avoid consuming content that lowers your vibration, like horror films or action movies that glorify fear and death, toxic news, or people who cultivate hatred. This is not dogma, it's quantum physics. Stay away from excessive complaining, judgment, self-sabotage, and don't allow yourself to do anything that harms another being or the universe itself. Every thought, word, and action you feed builds the landscape you live in. And demons cannot enter where harmony reigns. Yes, shadows can make noise. They can try to scare, confuse, or even distract you. But the truth remains. There are limits they will never be able to cross. And the three you've just learned are the invisible walls that protect the chosen ones who have chosen the light, even when everything seems dark. The chosen did not come into this world to hide, but to illuminate. With courage, presence, and connection to the all, they remember the true power they carry, the power of free thought, conscious choice, and unification with the all. If nothing can stop you anymore, write in the comments, "I am untouchable in my light." Leave this powerful affirmation, and I'll use my intuition to send you a link to another video. The one I believe will truly resonate with where you are on your journey, right now. And remember, you are not here to find a purpose. You are the purpose, experiencing itself. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope to see you in the next video. A life of infinite possibilities awaits you.